Hey everyone, welcome to part 2 of my video game collection overview. Today I'm covering my Nintendo Gamecube and Nintendo Wii collection. So let's go ahead and get started. First up, the first two games are Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, and The Return of the King. These are really fun games, nice beat-em-up games with some kind of RPG elements to it where you level up your character, unlock new moves, and they're really fun games. Next up, we have Metroid Prime. Great game. This is the first game I actually got with my GameCube back when I bought it, and I think I actually got the game free with it, but great game. I love Metroid. And then we have the last three games in my GameCube collection. Not a very big collection, but they're all Spider-Man games. First up is from Spider-Man the movie. This one's okay. It's not great, but it's a decent movie tie-in game. Definitely some problems with the camera. Next up, we have Spider-Man 2, probably one of the best, if not the better Spider-Man games ever made. But you know, a lot of fun. Love these Spider-Man games. Next up, we have Ultimate Spider-Man. I really enjoy the comic book line this is based off of, and this is a really fun game. I definitely recommend picking this up. Alright, now we're moving on to my Wii collection. I think I have around like 20 or so Wii games, so let's go ahead and get into that. First up is The Blob 2. I remember playing the first one on the Wii, and this is pretty much like that. I haven't played much of this one, but it's still pretty fun. I mean, you are a blob of paint, and you can mix colors and turn yourself different colors and paint the gray world. Yeah, it's pretty fun. Next up, we have A Boy and His Blob. This is a remake of an original NES game, and this is really well done. It's a platformer, and you have this alien blob that you befriend, and you can feed it different colored jelly beans, and it'll actually turn into things that you'll need, like it'll turn into a trampoline if you need to get to a higher level, or a ladder, or a rope, or just a hole so enemies will fall into it. So, really cool game. Next up, we have Boom Blocks. This is an okay game. I'm honestly not a big fan of it, but it's kind of like a puzzle game. You just throw, grab, and blow up different blocks. It's an okay game. Next up, Castlevania Judgment. I'm not a huge fighting game fan, and you know, I'm not a big fan of this game, to be honest, but it's kind of an interesting game, because I mean, I think when originally it was announced that they were bringing a Castlevania game to the Wii, you know, everyone got really excited, and then it turned out to be a fighting game, and people were like, what? But I just find this kind of hard to pull off the combos, but that's usual for me in most fighting games. I pretty much suck at fighting games. Probably why I don't like them all that much. Okay, now we're on to Epic Mickey. This is a collector's edition. I wound up getting this on clearance at Kmart, I think for like $10. But this game is a lot of fun. It's definitely has kind of an issue with the camera. But it's a pretty fun platformer. I really enjoy the game. As far as the collector's edition, came with a bonus DVD, a Mickey figurine, which I have around here somewhere, a Wii console skin set, and a Wii remote skin, which I'm never going to use, but still a nice box to have there. Next up, the only reason I have this game is because I got it in a bundle with one of the Wii remote that had the Wii Plus Motion Plus in it, and it's Fling Smash. Yeah, I really don't like this game. I mean, I haven't played through it too much, so maybe it's just I haven't gotten used to the controls. But you really just use the Wii remote to fling the character and to break different blocks to get through from like point A to B. And it's kind of an interesting game in how the controls work, but I don't think the controls work very well for it. So I'm not a big fan of it. Next up, we have Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles: The Crystal Bearers. This is a really cool game, and I've really wanted to get back into playing this. This is the controls do take a little getting used to, but once you get them down, it's a really fun game. I would definitely recommend picking this up for the Wii. Then I've got the Golden Classic Controller Pro edition of GoldenEye 007. Really cool remake of the N64 GoldenEye game. The graphics are really nice, and this actually has multiplayer modes on it, online multiplayer, which is really cool for the Wii. It's just a really well done game. Next up, we've got Kirby's Epic Yarn. I love this game so much. The graphics in it are really colorful, just really, really well done. I just like it a lot. The music's really great in it. It's just a fun, just really. I mean, it is kind of easy, as some Kirby games are, but to me, I play this game to take in, the graphics and the music. It's kind of calming. It's just a really fun game. Next, we've got the Core Gang. And this is a fairly standard platform game. I haven't gotten too far into it. But, it's a decent game for what I played so far. Next up, we have Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. A great, great, great game. Another game that you have to own if you have a Wii. And we've got Lost in Shadow. This is one that I had heard of a few years back and was really wanting to pick it up and never got around to it. And then I saw it pre-owned at Best Buy, I think for like $3, so I jumped on it. And it's a really interesting platformer. You basically play as your shadow, but you can't. The environments actually cast a shadow, so your shadow can only walk on the shadow of, like, if there's, say, a walkway here, it'll cast a shadow, and your shadow can only walk on the shadows of everything else. Really interesting game. I quite like it. Then we have Metroid Other M. This is an interesting game. A lot of people don't like it. I can kind of understand why. I personally really, really enjoyed this game. The graphics are great. The controls are a little weird. And I don't think you ever really get used to them. It's always kind of a little awkward, but I think it does get a little easier towards when you get through a good part of the game. But yeah, I really enjoyed this game. I just love Metroid games overall, and so I'm really hoping that they actually come out with a new Metroid game on hopefully both the Wii U and the 3DS. I would love if they do a new 2D Metroid on the 3DS. That would be great. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed this one. Right. Next up, we've got Nintendo Select's Pikmin 2. I think I got this for $5-10 at Best Buy one time, and I'm really glad I did. I haven't gotten very far into it. Haven't played it in a while, but it's a pretty unique and fun kind of strategy game. And I'm kind of looking forward to going back into it, and eventually when I get a Wii U, I definitely want to pick up Pikmin 3. Next up, Red Steel 2. So, back when the Wii first came out, they came out with, I believe Red Steel was one of the initial launch titles. And you know, they promised a lot of things with as far as the motion controls went, and it didn't really deliver. This game does, and it's a lot of fun. The graphics are nice, and the controls actually work. So, really cool game. Next up, Resident Evil 4 Wii Edition. Great game, works perfect with the Wii remote. This is definitely the way to play the game if you haven't played this yet. Next up, we have another Nintendo Selects title, Super Paper Mario. This is an okay Paper Mario game. It's certainly not one of my favorites of the franchise, but still pretty cool. You can actually go from a 2D perspective to a 3D one, and you know, kind of find hidden pathways and things like that. Kind of cool. Now we've got 2 Zelda games, and then Nintendo Selects title, Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Really, really great game. Probably the main reason that I bought a Wii at the time. And just a really good game, and I think it's probably one of the only Zelda games that I've actually beaten. And finally, we have The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. Man, this game is really cool. I really haven't gotten too far into it. I just got a lot of different games and just haven't really made time for this. I think I might pick up the strategy guide for it and try to get through it. I've heard there are some really frustrating parts in it. But the graphics in this are just really, really gorgeous. And you know, I've really enjoyed what I've played of it so far. This is actually a 25th anniversary edition, which includes the Zelda music CD. So if you can find this one, I definitely recommend picking this up. I mean, Zelda is known for its great music. And so yeah, that is it for my GameCube and Wii collection. Tune in for the next part 3 of my video game collection overview, where I talk about my PS3 and Xbox 360 games.